Welcome to the Unlocking Ability podcast. My name is Marie Devitt and I'm the Business Partnerships Manager in the Trinity Centre for people with intellectual disabilities in the School of Education, Trinity College, Dublin. In this podcast, I will be speaking to some of our TCPID graduates and their colleagues about their experiences of inclusive employment. Each episode will feature a different company, showcasing a wide variety of industries and of roles. These discussions will highlight the importance of true inclusion and belonging in the workplace and will showcase the profound impact upon everyone involved. Join us as we explore inclusive employment and listen to stories of real inclusion in action. Okay, well, I am delighted today to be here with the wonderful Seadna O'Hara and Edel McSorley from Mr. Price Branded Bargains, a fantastic business partner of TCPID. So thank you both so much for doing this podcast with me today. What I might do is I might ask you to, maybe Seadna, starting with you, to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Marie. I'm Seadna O'Hara and I work in Blanchardstown in Mr. Price. And I'm also a member of Trinity College with TCPID.
Amazing. And I can't help but be mesmerised by your amazing jewellery, Seadna. I do know, do you want to tell the people how you developed this interest in jewellery?
I started getting into jewellery back in 2022 just to get to my fashion, of course. I think it was back in 2020. 2020. I got back into my jewellery back in 2020 to how I look with fashion, of course, and to how look brilliant I am with the jewellery and the bracelets.
They're fantastic. It's such a variety of designs and everything. I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Brilliant. And Edel, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in Mr. Price?
Hi Marie, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Edel McSorley. I am the Operations Director with Mr. Price Branded Bargains. I work for the organisation 14 years, off its 15 years. And I also lead out, as well as Operations Director, I lead out in DEI.
Amazing. And we've been partnered together for over a year now. So can you tell us maybe a little bit about why you decided to become a partner of the TCPID?
Mr. Price, from its very early days, were on the journey of inclusive employment. And as we built more partnerships, we understood that there was untapped talent in our communities. And we were watching Trinity and watching the amazing programme for adults with intellectual disabilities. And we felt our Dublin stores could definitely help out, and we could look at jobs and work placements. So that's why we started with you guys. I think we might have met at an event and took it from there.
That's right. Right. And the rest, as I say, is history.
Absolutely. No regrets.
Amazing. It's been such an amazing partnership and has led, we'll get into it now as we chat, but it led to some incredible collaborations together.
It's very special.
It's very special. And Seadna, can you tell us about why you decided to come to Trinity College and to study for the Certificate in Arts, Science and Inclusive Applied Practice?
I wanted to come to Trinity College to improve my skills and my confidence and study well in college. I want to know what it's like to be in Trinity College and what the fun things they have in Trinity. The events, the gym places, and the work and the presentations, the skills I can do for Trinity College. That's why I wanted to come to Trinity College, to experience what it's like to study in Trinity College and see what lovely things they have in Trinity and the lovely events they hold up in Trinity College.
Amazing. And out of all the things that you did while you were there, what was your favourite thing about being a student in Trinity?
The favourite thing I like about in Trinity College is the presentation I loved back when I was in second year was the Cadbury's chocolate. When I started giving all my classmates Cadbury's chocolate and gave you a Cadbury chocolate as well, and for my marketing lecture, and told everyone about the marketing thing, of course, about Cadbury's chocolate, when was it all made and when did it all started.
I will never forget that, Edel. Wait till I tell you. So they had to do a presentation for marketing, and Seadna's, a product was Cadbury's chocolate, and no one else except Seadna brought in the actual product with them to the presentation, and he started by giving everyone a bar of Cadbury's chocolate, and you had us then. That was like gold star.
You win everybody with chocolate, Shayna. Well done, a
amazing.
born marketeer.
Exactly.
That's right. We were. I wanted to just make those students happy, of course. Make them have them a little surprise, of course. A few of them said, "This feels like an early Christmas present."
Yes. It was amazing. And you know, when we think now that you're working in retail now, after the cleverness of bringing in the product, it was so brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And you had to do a lot of presentations in college, didn't you?
I had to do a lot of good presentations in Trinity College. I did one about Alexander Graham Bell, about who invented the telephone, and I also did another marketing, of course, about my marketing business, of course. About what business would you sell and why. I did my jewellery, of course. I would sell jewellery shops, of course.
You were going to set up your own jewellery shop. That was the project, wasn't it?
That's right,
Yeah.
yes. And of course, I did a presentation about Italian. I did in my Italian class. What were my favourites and what was my favourite, and what did you like and what was your favourite about the Italian class?
And so by you telling us now, there was a really wide variety of subjects, wasn't there?
There was, yes.
And you got to do some sports, you mentioned earlier as well.
I did some sports on a Wednesday, of course. I did. We did like running laps, and we did like the bleep test, of course.
I hate the bleep test.
And the bleep test
Everybody does.
and the bleep test was very difficult to do. And
Yes.
we also did on first year we did practice rugby, and of course the photographers were taking pictures of us.
That's right.
We were doing on the rugby team, of course, with other students.
That's amazing. Weren't there some of the Irish team or something doing the training with you?
There were Irish team, of course,
Yeah.
doing the training as well, and
Remember that?
it was brilliant, of course. And of course, what I loved about the class was in the sports society class, meeting some other students from around the Trinity College, of course, by meeting them.
That's right. So you got to meet all students
And meeting all
subjects.
students, of course, and
Yeah.
it was really, really very kind, of course. And Trinity felt like it was something to remember of.
Oh, that's so brilliant.
And it felt like it's something to remember of because I'm a part of alumni of Trinity
Yes,
College.
that's true. You're an alumni now.
Yes.
That's amazing. And was there anything that you found difficult in college?
I found difficult in college was when I first started in Trinity College back in 2022. I was a bit anxious about what needs work to do with presentations and about presentations and assignments to do, and I found it a bit difficult to cope what I needed to do on the work on the assignments to do for Trinity College on the first year of my college experience.
But then, oh my God, you did just amazing.
I know, yes, but I struggled a bit in college. But one of my lecturers helped me out on the presentations a bit more.
Yeah.
What needs to add in a bit more in my presentation, of course.
Incredible. And then your graduation day was very
And
special.
the
wasn't it?
graduation day was very special for me, and I felt proud of myself. And after the graduation, we went out to a meal together in Ashburn, a restaurant called 50/50.
And it was delicious, I'd say.
It was a lovely, delicious food, and we had a great time. And a little surprise was that my auntie gave me a lovely bracelet from something to remember of Trinity College. This is a lovely graduation bracelet of something
Oh,
to remember of. Is a little graduation hat on it to remember about my college graduation. My auntie gave that to me.
That's a beautiful present.
Yeah.
to get.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely
And
beautiful.
fits right in with
It
the
fits
other
right.
jewellery.
It fits right in my other jewellery, of course.
Amazing. And then taking us on from when you finished in Trinity, and can you tell us about what you did after you finished the course?
What I did after when I finished the course was I did some great things. I went into Mr. Price, started doing some work, and when I finished work, and the next day during my free times, I went to hang out myself, go see the cinema, going out to have a cup of tea, hanging out with my friends, and just play bowling and
Amazing.
play pool, and I even sometimes go out to parks, of course, just to have a walk around. And even some of the days when I'm off work, I sometimes come into Dublin just to go around and go out just to see the city more and bring back memories from Trinity College.
Brilliant. And I remember, Seadna, when we were planning the internships for where everyone was going to go. And I remember when we told you where you were going to do your internship. Do you remember how happy you were?
I couldn't believe myself how happy I was when I started the internship, was because before I started Trinity College, I did my work experience in Mr. Price in Blanchardstown.
Yes.
Before I started in Mr. Price.
And we didn't even know that at the time.
I know,
Yeah.
I wanted to keep it secret, of course.
But it was your face, Seadna, when we said, myself and Emer told you, well, you're going to be doing your internship in Mr. Price.
Of
and
course.
you were like, oh my God, I love this.
I do well with I do well coping with customer service, because it makes it
very
more
well.
it makes it more easy for me. I cope with customers well, help them where they need to go, and what products they looking for something missing is I follow them to the way where they needed to go, and then I'd show them where they were.
And so can you tell us a little bit more about the job then, about what you do? So you're in the Blanchardstown, that's a big
Yes,
shop,
it's a really big shop, of course. I think it's the only one big shop they have in Blanchardstown. But anyways, I want to tell you about how big my workplace is, because what I do in my workplace is I do like pricing audits, and sometimes I do baskets, and if I hear the bell ring, if it's 1 bell, 2 bell, 3 bell or 4 bell, if it's 1 bell, I go up to the tills and just cover the queues.
Do you? Amazing. And did you do that from the beginning, or were you nervous about doing that at the beginning?
I did not do till training when I was in the beginning, when I started Mr. Price. All I had to do was baskets and stuff like that to get me my confidence up for a bit.
Yeah. And then when you felt that confidence, you said, I can do this, I can be on the till.
Yeah. Exactly,
That's amazing.
because one of my other managers helped me on the tills to train myself how to use the tills more, and I succeeded on the tills.
Fantastic. That is just fantastic. And I still have to go out and see you at work so that I can buy a few bits.
Yeah.
And I know you have some amazing colleagues in Mr. Price.
I have some amazing colleagues in Mr. Price. I even have one colleague I made have a good friend of, but I won't tell the name. It's a lovely person I have from our workplace. He's a lovely guy, and we often see each other, and sometimes we don't see each other much often. It depends on the schedule. And we shook hands together before we saw each other. We greeted each other, we shook hands together, and we hugged each other.
So like best friends.
Best pals and best pals.
That's amazing.
And when I leave, of course, I say goodbye to, and then we shook hands and said goodbye.
Because the workplace is all about friendships, isn't it, Edel? And Seadna, like, it's just so important, isn't it?
It's all about friendship, of course, and making friends in workplaces, of course.
Yeah. And being part of a community and a team.
It's being part of a community, and we help out of our community in Mr. Price, help our customers, help our people out.
And I know how you help your colleagues by doing all this amazing work, but how do they help you? So how do they support you?
By just by doing something on the baskets, of course, by saying that thing goes upstairs or downstairs, goes like an example, like the hardware or the homeware or the food section or the back to school section.
So if you're kind of not sure where something should go, they help you by telling you.
By asking one of their co-workers.
Yeah, amazing. And you always feel really supported.
I do, yes, of course.
That's
exactly.
Amazing. And what's your absolute favourite thing about working in Mr. Price?
I like communicating with colleagues, and communicating with staff, and about talking to them how my weekends go and how my week went, and I talked to them about what are your plans for the weekend, because some of them could be working, of course, but I even said I have very, very good weekends to myself.
Amazing. And I'd say the money's no harm either, getting the money so you can do your shopping.
Yeah. Exactly, of course.
That's really important, isn't it?
But the most thing is that we keep Mr. Price. We want to keep Mr. Price a good handshake to everyone, of course, to make them feel comfortable while they do their shopping.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's so lovely.
Yes.
You're a brilliant asset to the team there, for
Yes,
sure.
exactly.
For sure. And Edel, just to come to you, I mean, obviously we spoke about how the fit felt right and about becoming a partner and all that, but very, very quickly, if not immediately, you were like, well, we want to take on somebody for a placement or an internship. And so why did you decide to, I suppose, jump straight in and offer Seadna an internship?
Well, I suppose we talk about selection process all the time and making sure that the person's interests and their hobbies and that retail is right, because we are a very fast moving environment and a little bit noisy at times. So when you told me then about Seadna and you told me about his love of the cinema and wanting to possibly explore cinemas and saying, well, there's a very big correlation here between the cinema and the retail, and because we're so fast moving and there's so many things to learn and different jobs to do, we felt that Seadna was the right fit. So it's very much that fit and selection. So when you have the right person, why wait?
Exactly, why wait? And what has Seadna added to the team there? I mean,
Seadna's personality is just alive. The team all love him. The customers love him. Very hard to pass Seadna without a smile and a hello. So he really adds vibrancy, and he has a lovely team with them, and everybody just gets on so well. So we would be lost without Seadna.
Amazing. That's so good to hear, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. That's very, very nice.
I know, but it's true.
It's the truth.
I think this feels like this workplace is the right fit for me because I help customers out.
It's definitely the right fit. I mean, you know, your face lights up when you talk about it.
Yes.
And I think that's so important, that you love your job and, you know.
Yes, of course it is. And I make all the customers happy and keep them all comfortable in this retail community.
Yeah, amazing. And Edel, you're so to the forefront of all this inclusive employment and promoting all this. What would you say to other companies to help them to encourage them to hire people with intellectual disabilities?
I would encourage them to meet the person. So we think about disabilities and we always think about what a person can't do. But our model is a strengths-based model. So when we looked at Seadna, we looked at his interests and his hobbies and his personality, and then fitted that into the job instead of trying to fit around a job description that's just a few words on a piece of paper. So I would say to the employers to come and meet you guys and introduce to some of the students and some of the interns or the placements that are due to come out, and work on that fit and find that person and think about the assets as opposed to the restrictions, because the strengths, Seadna's strengths in customer service and being on till and helping the customer, that's what our customers need. And the gel with the team, customers pick up on that. If you go into a retail store and it's cold in terms of atmosphere, you know the colleagues aren't getting on. But when the colleagues are getting on, they want to help the customers. And I know Seadna sometimes gets involved in the team making TikToks as well.
Oh, really?
And the customers love to watch that, you know, and none of that will happen without a really, really good gel. So I just say to employers that you're really, really missing out when you are looking at a disability as a disability within a box category. Exactly. That you have to look at the person. And we do that for other roles. We look at who's the best fit for the role. And it's the same when we're talking about colleagues with disabilities. Who are the best fit for the role?
And we're the same, with the same ethos completely.
Absolutely.
That we focus on like ability rather than the disability.
Yes.
Because it's about the ability and the passion that someone brings to the workplace and the desire to make an impact and stuff.
Yeah, and I do remember Seadna saying, I will not go on tills. And then one day I walked in and I nearly did a 360 when I seen Seadna in the corner of my eye on till.
On the till.
And I suppose that's another message to employers, that somebody may not be ready now to do a certain task, but that doesn't mean that's forever. So it's just a matter of working with Seadna where he is today, but he has grown and developed so much in his time with us, and other colleagues will do the same. So
absolutely.
Just, look at how we can expand and how we can explore on the ability.
Fantastic. And like you say, it wasn't your time at the beginning to be on the till, and then you felt, I'm ready now.
Yes,
And that's,
because I'm trying to know the place well, trying to know how the place looks like until before I started the till. So
Yeah.
that was the reason why.
yeah, no, but you're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
And Edel, aside from your partnership with us, you have a number of really exciting, inclusive hiring initiatives within
Yes.
Mr. Price. So could you tell us maybe about a few other ones of those?
Yeah, I suppose the one thing for us in Mr. Price is to not leave anybody behind. We didn't even realise that this was going to be something that the business would do. You know, we always said we wanted to do something a little bit different. And it didn't take long to figure out what that different was, because as we looked into our communities, we were finding people who hadn't even really been able to consider work for different reasons. So starting off with disability really opened our eyes, and it taught us to be brave and not to worry about the rule book and just to rip up that rule
Love
book,
it.
throw it out
Rip it up.
and write our own.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. So as well as disabilities, we would hire people post-addiction. We hire people who have a history of being in front of the courts.
Right.
And really, there's a few people who may have witnessed or experienced homelessness in their time. So it's just looking at different groups that are really marginalised and removed from the workplace in general. The travelling community will be another example of that. And then creating partnerships and working with those organisations and figuring out, okay, how do we do this? So one of the partnerships is Spirinua, and it is people who have been to prison.
Yeah.
Or who have convictions of some shape, make or form. And I only realised in the last 12 months that a conviction doesn't mean you've been to prison.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know, so it's things that
Yeah.
we think we know. And in the last year, we have 85 people coming through that partnership, and some of them are now stepping into management roles.
Wow.
And never considered themselves being able to work because the blocks are there day in, day out. So as we remove those blocks, we're getting more talent. We have waiting lists for our stores. We just have more people looking for work than we have jobs. And we're growing rapidly, so that says a lot. So it's really, really important. But that cohesive and inclusive employment pathways are really, really important.
And it's about giving everybody a chance, and in some cases a second chance.
Absolutely. And particularly when we look at disability, so many people acquire a disability in their life. So just because we don't have one now doesn't mean we're not going to have one in the future. And if things don't change, things don't change, and we continue on in society not understanding. And we particularly see this with some of our stores that have deaf colleagues. And the deaf colleagues work on tills, and customers learn sign language.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's really good. And then young children coming into the business, maybe children with disabilities or children who see colleagues that are staff members, who look like them.
Yes.
And then they go, I can do this job too.
Yeah.
And for mummies and daddies, that's really important because they worry.
Yes.
And they
absolutely.
worry, where will my child get employment?
Yeah.
And they can see it.
It's amazing.
But you have to see it to be it.
Absolutely. And you organised the most wonderful event earlier this year that I was privileged to be a part of with you. The Light the Way event, the first of many.
Well, I thought it was a one-off event, but it turns out that it's coming back.
Exactly. But can you tell people about what that was about? And it was joyous. I mean, it was absolutely joyous, and it was privileged to be there.
I was just getting a little bit frustrated going to disability employment events and feeling like as an employer we are being talked at.
Yes.
And we're sometimes with no harm to anybody, and nobody means any bad from it, but you feel like you're being told what you're not doing.
Yes.
And not seeing enough disability represented at the event. So we weren't seeing the talent and we weren't seeing the benefits. We were more being told this is the law and this is what you need to do. But we're not going to break. Policies don't change behaviour.
Yeah.
Behaviours change behaviours. So after being at one, I thought, kind of cheekily, in your head, you go, I'll do one of them myself.
Yeah.
And then once the idea got into my head, it just grew arms and legs. So the Light the Way was a real celebration of our colleagues, our disabled colleagues. Our colleagues emceed the event. They sat on panels. Yeah. We had our experts like yourself on as well to talk about how we do it. Yeah. And it was business to business. We were really blessed that Minister Dara Cleary came and he opened the event for us, and he was really wowed by it and really, really inspired. And another one of our colleagues launched his book of poetry.
Yeah.
So G.J. Kelleher writes poems all the time. Every time he wants to express himself, he writes poems or he draws pictures. And his CV was a poem. So we had so many poems that we knew we needed to do something. So we helped him launch his first book. Published his first book, and then we launched it at the event. So it was a real celebration. The other businesses that were in the room were blown away. Yeah. They were blown away by Seadna and other colleagues as well. One colleague who is deaf and uses sign language and lip reading, and he blew everybody away.
Oh, he was brilliant.
Like, I still have people talking to me about Patrick and about what happened. And very excitedly, we had a TV recording out there in his store recently to tell his story. So
did he?
Yes. So I can't say very much. It's still a secret. Yes. So it was a beautiful event. I didn't expect many businesses to be interested. I thought we might be lucky and get 20 or 30 people there on the day. We had a capacity of 90 in the room, which I thought would be empty, and I was panicking that morning. And then I came back into the room after finding the minister and doing some photographs, and there was 138 people with standing room only.
I know.
So I'm still blown away. I still don't know how we pulled it off.
It was magic. I think what made it so magic was that it was colleagues front and centre talking and telling their stories. And Seadna, you were magnificent at it as well. Like on the panel, just you had everyone in the palm of your hand talking about your own story. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
What I often tell people is, and I still laugh about it and find it funny, is we practiced with the guys for a few weeks in advance because we didn't want anybody feeling overwhelmed, or we didn't want questions that they weren't comfortable with. So the practice was done, and everybody was great. But on the day when they got the mic, Marie, nothing that we practiced was discussed.
The power of the microphone.
Absolute rock stars, each and every one of them. It was just amazing. Brilliant.
And did you enjoy it, Seadna? It was such
I really enjoyed it, of course.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And it was so funny, it was so joyous, and it showed what it means to people to be a part of the Mr. Price team, but to have a job, to have a purpose. And that's what it's all about, really.
Absolutely. And we will be bringing it back this year. Amazing. And hopefully we will be including our other partnerships as well. Brilliant. So we can show the theme this year is going to be we're not all that different.
Yes.
So it's just really, I suppose, expanding on it. And this year we're hoping to get a little bit deeper and talk to family members and some other employers who are on this journey as well. So that it's not just the Mr. Price story, that we can spread it out a little bit further. So watch this space.
Watch this space. And what would you say, because you've done so much in this area, and you've achieved so much and have made such a positive impact, what would you say to other employers to help them, to encourage them to hire people with different abilities or with different backgrounds?
I would tell them to stop thinking about the policy. Yeah. Because the policy is actually holding them back. And I don't underestimate the importance of policies. Yeah. And it's very, very important. And I'm an operations director. So if we didn't have policies and we didn't have standard operating procedures, we would be in trouble. Yeah. But it's really seeing past that policy and looking to the person and realising that you are missing out, that there is this incredible talent all around the country in your communities that you just at this moment in time can't see past. So meet the person, meet the partner, meet the person, and then say, let's try and see what happens from it. And a really good example of that is that deaf colleague we were talking about. And when he started, a little while after he started, he said to his manager, it's my dream to go on till. So she phoned me and she said, what will I do? Yeah. And I said, put him on till. Yeah. Like what's the worst that can happen? I know it's not traditional. Yeah. And I know we don't see it every day. Yeah. But now we see it every day.
That's amazing.
And it's not just one colleague in that store that is deaf that's on tills. There's two, and they support each other.
It's amazing, and it's about changing that perception.
Absolutely.
Why not? You're always someone who's why not?
Just try it, see what happens. And honestly, you will be blown away for the employers. And that's what employers in the room said at Light the Way, that they couldn't get their heads around, or they were so impressed with how Shane and his team spoke about us as a business, but not only the business, the us individually.
Yeah.
You know, how those relationships build and how close everybody becomes. And our culture is everything.
Yeah.
Without our culture, we won't make any changes.
And it's about feeling that, or nurturing that atmosphere of belonging, and of supporting each other, and of kindness and empathy. And I think for every business, it's really about reflecting society as a whole.
Most definitely. And thinking about the people that we're talking about applying for jobs.
Yeah.
If they were our sons or daughters, if they were our sisters or brothers, wouldn't we want to give them a chance? So why are we waiting for other people to do it?
Yeah.
You know, why don't we just do it? We're just after finishing a lovely work experience for a lovely, lovely young man. He's in mainstream education and he has autism. But he was the only student in his class who couldn't get work placement.
Wow.
Now, he finished with us this week, and his mammy sent me a message yesterday about just how wonderful an experience it was and how much he's grown from it. And that's 5 Mondays. That's all that took. You know, and he's better now, better ready for the workplace and more understanding of what happens in one.
And that's so important, because it's about giving somebody the chance to see what a workplace is like, to experience what a workplace is like, and you know, to give them that opportunity to grow and to learn.
Yeah, and for our workplace to understand that everybody is different. And we had that where we had 2 people with work experience, both had autism. Yeah. One has communication differences and the other was a social butterfly. Yeah. And the conversation opened in the office about, but they have both autism. And we're like, yes, because it's a spectrum. And that's why it's a spectrum, that you will get somebody who is so sociable and so talky, and somebody else who will prefer, their communication preference is writing. Yeah. And that's okay.
And I think it's about seeing a person. It's one person, and you know, a diagnosis doesn't determine the person. It's about finding out what makes someone tick, as you say, what their communication style is, what their personality is. Yeah.
And looking at their skill.
Yeah.
And how the skill fits in with the team. Yeah. And then we adopt, because things are just different because we're not used to seeing something or hearing something. Yeah. But when that becomes the norm, there's no issue. So for some people, they think, well, it would be very awkward for everybody if somebody of the team wasn't speaking. Yeah. But why?
But why? Yes, exactly.
You know, it's only awkward because we're making it awkward. Yeah. So, and this guy, he was being hired with us now about 2 or 3 years, and his communication is instant messaging.
Okay.
And he works perfectly well.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
And he does a cracking job.
That's amazing.
We'd be lost without him.
And you know, back to you, Shane. Well, both of you, actually, the same question of why do you think it's important that everyone should have the opportunity to work and that there is inclusive employment? Why do you think that matters?
To build up skills and confidence and develop all their personality, of course, and develop their communication skills, of course.
And just to give everyone the chance to participate and everything. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for you, Edel, why do you think it's so important that we have, like, that everybody should encourage inclusive employment?
Marie, it's a basic human right, the right to work. Yeah. And who are we to decide who works and who doesn't work? Yeah. It's our job is to form the futures of the next generation. And we want our generations to be more inclusive. So until we do it and we make those changes and we show the difference, nothing will improve. Yeah. So, and it's our job to meet the human rights.
That's it. And you're right. Who are we? Who are we to determine anything about what somebody's path is?
Imagine what we could learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's it. And, you know, it enriches every workplace. It enriches every university. It enriches society to have all those opinions and all those experiences.
Absolutely.
Together. Working together.
Yeah.
And Edel, what would you say to, you know, any companies that are listening or watching this podcast to, you know, if they might be considering hiring somebody with, different abilities, and how to start and what to do?
For me, partnership is everything, Marie. We wouldn't have done this on our own, and it's really, really clear that we're a retailer. What do we know about disability?
Yeah.
But we can learn.
Yes.
So we've lots of experience in terms, we've multiples of decades of retail experience. So we can take that, and then we can take partnerships like Trinity Centre and combine the two together. So you give us the individuals, you give us the training and the expertise. And the blended approach is what is going to make a change. So you were able to put Shayna forward for an internship. The internship turned into a job. How would Shayna have been introduced to us otherwise?
Yeah.
And that's really important. So I see the partnerships as building a bridge. So the barrier isn't the job itself. Shayna's more than capable of doing the job. But the barrier in this case is getting the job.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how inclusive our job adverts is. Shayna may have struggled to apply for the job. He may have struggled to do an interview, or some colleagues, Shayna wouldn't actually, but some colleagues will struggle to do interviews. Yeah. So interviews need to be adopted, or there needs to be no interview at all, because they're not necessarily a very good scoring for who's suitable for the job. So the partnership is able to build a bridge between the individual and the employer, and just aid that person into applying for the role.
Amazing. And it is about just, there are wonderful organisations out there. There's wonderful work going on throughout the country, and it is about everyone working together towards a common goal of improving the way society is, and the way, the workplace is, and just to make things better for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see it day in, day out, what happens when we do it.
Yes.
So it's just, and then we can ring you, Marie, we can ring our other partners, and sometimes some of the individuals will come through one partnership. Yeah. But we'll ring an expert in another partnership if we need advice on something, because we know that that's their area of expertise. And we've seen that going back to Light the Way, when our partners all got together.
Yes, yeah.
And how the new relationships started to build up, and new networks of support. So I definitely think partnership, for Mr. Price, partnership was key to our success.
Well, aren't we lucky that it is?
And aren't we?
Amazing. And Shayna, do you remember the day when you were told you were getting that permanent job, Mr. Price? Do you remember how you felt and how your family felt?
I felt so happy about it. I felt really happy about this job, because I now get to continue working with Mr. Price from now on, so I can help customers really well. And I felt really excited, of course, when I got the job, and
it happened quite quickly.
It happened really quickly, of course. It did.
After only a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah. You obviously wowed them with all your skills, and then, it went straight from an internship into a permanent job.
I know.
And I will never forget that day either, when we found out.
I'll never forget that day, what happened this year, of course.
Amazing.
I think, Marie, you might have told me that Shayna was worried because he was coming near the end of his internship.
Yes, exactly.
And I just said, hold on a moment, I'll ring you back.
Okay, I remember that.
And I rang the store manager, and she said to me, her words were, "What's the problem?"
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God, I love
So we
that.
agreed on the phone that Shayna would get his contract that day, and then I phoned you back.
I know. And I remember, it was just, we were so happy and so proud, and we knew it'd be life-changing.
Yeah.
It's life-changing.
But sometimes employers will say that, how do you get the buy-in?
Yeah.
And there's how you get the buy-in. That you include everybody, the managers aren't left out of this equation.
Absolutely.
But in this case, Emma is Shayna's manager, and Emma's just gorgeous in every respect.
Yeah.
And there was no talking her into it. There was no twisting her arm. There was no need. It's just, what's the problem?
Amazing. And I do remember that you were a little bit worried of what's happening next. Yeah. And then it was like, now I know. Mm-hmm. I'm not going anywhere.
I know.
And we don't want anyone worried. So again, there's a beautiful reason why we have partnerships.
Yes.
Because Shayna may not have told us he was worried.
Exactly.
But he was chatting to you guys, and we were able to work out the solution.
Yeah. And it was just fantastic. And Shayna, how do your family and your friends think of, the fact that you're now a graduate of Trinity College Dublin and a permanent member of staff in Mr. Price? How do they think?
They think I'm one of the top number one number one people in Trinity College.
They're right. They must be so proud of you, are
Yes,
they?
and feel like a celebrity, of course.
Well, you're certainly a celebrity now.
Yep.
With this, it's amazing. And how do you think? Because I've seen a huge change in you since you started in Trinity. How do you yourself think you have changed?
By doing the work really well and developing more skills with college and develop more instructions from the lecturers, and I look at me now, like I've developed good skills in Trinity College, and now I'm in develop good skills in work.
I know, and you've got so much more confidence, and you seem so happy. And,
Yeah.
we're so proud of you. And final question to you, Shayna, what are your goals for the future?
My goals for the future is to help people more around the places from any workplaces, of course.
Amazing. And to continue working in Mr. Price,
To continue working for Mr. Price for a bit.
You can't leave them.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's fantastic. And Edel, final words to you then on, what would you like to see in society and in the workplace in the coming years?
I would like that people stop saying to us, you're doing a great job.
Yes.
And that what we do is what's expected of us, because we don't believe we're doing anything great. We don't believe we're doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. We're just doing what society needs and what's the fairest and most equal approach. So I would like that this becomes the norm, that we see disabled people serving us in restaurants, that when we go to our tax office, if we go to our Garda station, that any services that we go to, that we see the representation everywhere. And just a greater understanding.
Amazing. And on that note, that's what we're hoping for. On that note, I just want to thank you both so much. This has been such a joy.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Unlocking Ability podcast. Please stay tuned for future episodes. And in the meantime, please check out our website at tcd.ie/TCPID.